Today, we're going to tear down one of the biggest myths in strength training. You know the idea that getting stronger is as simple as adding a little more weight to the bar week after week. If you've ever felt totally stuck, hitting a wall that you just can't break through, then you're in the right place. Because that simple approach, it's often the very thing holding you back. You've probably heard some version of this story before. This ancient Greek legend, it's pretty much the foundation for a principle we call progressive overload. And honestly, it's the core idea behind almost every workout plan out there. To get stronger, you've got to lift heavier things over time. I mean, it seems so simple, right? It feels like it should work. And this is where almost everyone's fitness journey begins. The logic is just so powerful, so intuitive. Lift something today, and then lift something a little bit heavier tomorrow. It's that classic just add 5 pounds mentality. It really seems like a foolproof path to getting strong. But here's the catch, the big flaw in that whole story. What happens when the calf starts growing faster than your body can actually adapt to it? A calf gains weight every single day, but our ability to recover, to actually build new strength, well, it just doesn't follow that nice, predictable straight line. The truth is, our bodies don't get stronger in a straight line. Progress is cyclical. You have these periods of growth, for sure, but they have to be followed by periods where your body, your nervous system, your joints, your hormones, the whole system gets a chance to recover and, lock in those gains. Pushing harder and harder without a break is a one-way ticket to getting stuck. And this right here captures a feeling that everyone who lifts weights knows all too well. We all want the path on the left, that clean, straight arrow heading for success. But the reality, for almost all of us, looks a lot more like the path on the right. These frustrating plateaus, and then eventually, total burnout. And it happened for one simple reason. Linear progress just isn't sustainable. So what this really means is that we have to stop fighting our body's natural rhythm. The real key, the secret, is to find a smarter way to train, a way that works with our body's cycles of adaptation, not against them. And this is exactly where Soviet sports science comes in with some powerful alternatives. See, instead of just guessing, their scientists spent decades just watching what the world's best athletes actually did. And through all that analysis, they found 3 very different and much smarter paths to building real strength. Okay, so the first path is called step loading. Now, instead of adding a tiny bit of weight every week, you do the opposite. You stick with the exact same weight for several weeks. At first it's hard, then it gets kind of comfortable, and then it gets, easy. Only then, once you own that weight, do you make a much bigger jump. This method builds incredibly stable, durable strength. It definitely weeds out the impatient, that's for sure. The second path is wave loading, which you might also know as cycling. This was the classic American powerlifting system for years. You spend a few weeks building up to really heavy weights, you hit a new peak, and then you do something that feels totally wrong. You deliberately drop way back down to lighter weights to start a whole new wave. The reason this works so well is that your body can really only handle about 2 weeks of truly heavy all-out loading per month. And now for the third path, variable loading. This one is the most radical of all. With this method, the training load just fluctuates wildly from one session to the next. We're talking heavy one day, super light the next. On the surface, it looks like complete and utter randomness. But underneath all that, it's a highly sophisticated system. The legendary strength coach, Pavel Tsatsouline, calls this approach comfortably insane. And that is the perfect description. It basically throws the whole idea of smooth, predictable progress right out the window. So, how does this chaos work? Well, the core idea is the Delta 20 principle. The jumps in weight from one workout to the next are huge, at least 20%, and they go both up and down. It's based on the idea that real adaptation happens in big leaps. Think of that pointillist painting in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. When you're right up close, it's just a bunch of random dots. But when you step back, you see the clear picture. That's variable loading. So where did all these strange but powerful ideas come from? Not from some pristine lab or a university study. They came from the real world by asking one simple question. What are the best lifters in the world actually doing? Soviet sports scientists, they started this enormous project. For decades, they analyzed the training logs of their most successful Olympic weightlifters. They weren't testing a theory. They were just looking for patterns in what already worked. This is a system that was forged by real-world results at the absolute highest level. And the patterns they found? They were shocking. The optimal average intensity was only around 75% of a 1-rep max. But this last one, this is what blows people's minds. The optimal number of reps per set was only 1/3 to 2/3 of what an athlete could actually do. You're leaving plenty in the tank, basically doing about half the reps you're capable of. And the proof is in the results. This is the ultimate testament to the power of this system. The International Weightlifting Federation has changed the weight classes multiple times since the 80s, partly to erase old records. And yet, when you adjust pound for pound, many of those records from the Soviet era still stand today. More than 30 years later, they remain unbeaten. So, the crucial point that ties all three of these methods together, step, wave, and variable loading, is this philosophy. The goal isn't just to force a temporary adaptation. It's to build strong, resilient, stable adaptations, the kind that don't just disappear the moment you take a week off. It's all about building strength that lasts. So, before you head into your next workout, just ask yourself this one question. Is what you're doing building real, long-term strength, or is it just making you tired? The answer might just change everything. Thanks for watching.